Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. This is Finalizing, aka Skylar Madison, and today I'm going to go out with a video where I'm starting to work with some fan art. And this one is going to be Babylon 5. This first video here in this series where I'm going to be working on this image, it's going to be narrated, but it's also going to be unedited. And there's a number of reasons why. A lot of people like having unedited footage, but also because I actually already made this video. Let me show you what I mean. I actually had a stream for this image as well, but I also drew this, and I even have the whole image all laid out and everything. But the footage for this video somehow got corrupted, and so I mean it's Wednesday, and I have absolutely no time to edit this. I mean, one day to edit all of the audio and all the video, there's just no way. Then Friday, there's just no way. So I'm going to start from scratch, and so this image is going to be it's going to be 1920 by 1080. So this is going to be the size that you would need for a desktop desktop wallpaper. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a raster layer, and I'm going to go into here. Alright, and I want this to be a full 360 degree image. So this is going to be cylindrical 4-point perspective. And so I'm going to pull out my brush. Now here's something interesting about Affinity Designer. You have the pixel persona, where if I zoom in on this, you can see that every single bit of that brush always lines up to only being 1 pixel thickness. This is really good for pixel art. And then you press B, and then you have this one, which, you know, it has a nice feathering to it. And so I personally prefer this brush with the nice feathering to it over the pixel brush. I don't do pixel art, I never have, and I understand that it can look really cool, like with the video game Hyperlight Drifter. That video game looks beautiful, but I don't do it. I don't see the appeal. It's not really something that I would do. But here's the thing. For those of you that accidentally wind up drawing with the pixel brush and then only find out later and you've ruined your masterpiece, and you have to go back and repaint or whatever, just make your pixel brush enormous. That way, anytime you press B and it's this big, like, you can just press B again and you're like, oh, it's tiny. Okay, great. Now I can kind of resume drawing where I left off. So that's one way where you can make sure that your brush is the right size. So with this, I'm going to call this layer red, okay? And I'm just going to create, come on, let's see, each circle that I draw is going to be 180 degrees, okay? But these are going to be more like ovals, and it doesn't really matter if they're ovals or circles or whatever. So I'm just going to establish where my vanishing point is and the curvature around that vanishing point, okay? And actually, I kind of want the horizon line to be much lower, so I'm going to just go like that, okay? Awesome, okay? And so, well, I need to have it better established. Okay. There we go. I want to actually be able to see where this vanishing point is. And this stuff is all freehand. So this is a vanishing point, and I'm just kind of building it out a little bit more. Alright, and so this is going to be another vanishing point. Well, let me see. Let me just Okay, I liked it down here. I'm not going to do any fancy measuring. I'm just going to go like that. Awesome. And wow, that is some bizarre warpage. Let's take a look at some stuff real quick. Is there a measuring device on Affinity Designer? No, there isn't. Why wouldn't there be? Why isn't there a measuring tool? Nope, there's no measuring tool. Let's see. Window, no. View. Customize tools. That's it. That's all of it. That's all she wrote. That is bizarre. That would be all of it. So, close. Alright. If there's no measuring, then, let's see. Let's see. Actually, there is a measuring. Okay, so, I got an idea. Let's try this inside of the vector persona really quick here. I know that I'm kind of dawdling at this point, but I'm going to try making the perspective grid here. Okay, so let me change the width of this to being about that big and get rid of the stroke. Press A. Okay, so if it's... This is pixels. Okay, so what was the dimensions of this? It was... Okay, width is 1920. Okay, so 1920. So if I have calculator, let's see, calculator. So 1920, let's see, divided by 2. 960. Okay, so width. Wait, did I say 902? Not 960. 960 pixels. Okay, so let's get that right here. Yeah, that's not bad, actually. Alright, so... And you know what? I'm going to show the center right there. I'm going to put my mouse right here, pull out the brush, and just draw out a line right there. And right where... Like, that's the center of it. That's awesome. Okay, so I'm going to grab both of these objects, group them together. This is the first time I've done it like this. So that's some of the reason why I'm being so odd. Let me do some snapping. Alright, cool beans. Okay, it lined up perfectly. Only one problem. Let me grab both of these groups. I actually want the horizon line to be really low. And you know where the horizon line is where these vanishing points are lining up. Right here, right here, right here, and right here. You know, these 4 points, okay? Well, yeah. Alright, let's see. Now the height can be anything I want. So I'm just going to extend this up, because I want to see that. Let's see what happens if I press Control J and just press Alt and transform, and Control. Alt and Control and transform. Hey, that worked. Okay, so Control J, click, drag, Alt Control. That's cool. Okay, Control J. Oh wait, Control J, Control J. It's doing it automatically now. The only downside is that it's moving my vanishing point lower and lower. You know what? I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it being a rather low. Wait, Control Z a few times. Okay. Control J, Control J. Come on. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. Okay, so Control J, click, drag, Control Alt, drag. Okay, Control J, Control J. Do that a bunch of times. That's cool. I'm cool with that. Okay, so there's only one downside. There's this little object in every single one of these groups. So, you know, I'm going to actually backtrack a little bit. Now that I know that that's possible, that's stinking cool. So, let's see. I have this one duplicated. And... oops. That should get rid of... okay, cool. Yeah, let's delete that. And let's see. Okay, let's grab these two. Press V. Bring this up. Okay. And let's see. I'm going to press Control J. And with these two duplicates, I'm just going to bring them to the top of the stacking order. Only that's not what happened. Okay, so they're on top of the stacking order. Now I'm going to delete this in the middle. And that way I can actually see what I'm doing. Actually, I don't even need these inside of a group anymore. So I can delete that group. Throw this out. Delete that group. Okay. And press Control J. And, you know, I'm just going to move that down. Move that all the way up. And, yeah, Control Alt. And I'm going to grow it first. And then press Control J a few times. Awesome. And now I'm going to grab these two, press Control J, and Control Alt, click and drag. Awesome. Okay, Control J. Awesome. That's... I don't think I need it quite that obnoxious, though. That should be good enough, okay? So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll all the way down and go to these groups. I'm actually going to get rid of those little red things there because it's obvious where they should be. So I'm going to grab, you know, these don't even need to be in a group either. Oops, Control Z. Yeah, grab this, pull it out. Okay. What the heck? Come on. Okay, delete that group, grab this, pull it out. Okay. And now I'm going to grab the bottom one, scroll all the way up on the stacking order, select it, press Control J, Control G, and then I'm going to press Control J. And I'm going to change the color to blue. Or at least that's what I thought I was going to do. Oh, that's... okay, so I see what happened. Okay, now I'm going to change it to blue because I had it on the fill. And so I changed the color to blue there. Now I'm going to press V and hold Shift while I drag. And it's set to snapping. So it lined up perfectly in the center. And then I'm going to grab... well, you know what? I'm just going to Control click and Shift right there. Boom. Okay, so I have a little bit more than what I need out here, but it'll be a big hassle to be able to find it inside of the stacking order, so I'm okay with all of that. So I'm going to grab all of this and press Control G and just call this perspective grid. Okay, well, yeah. I found a way how to make my perspective grid without it necessarily being freehand, but I'm still going to freehand this drawing in perspective. So now I'm going to go ahead and lower the opacity. This saves a lot of time, actually. I'm really happy about that too. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I want to have Babylon 5, okay? We're drawing Babylon 5 inside of this image. I want it to be kind of, I need to go into the pixel persona. I'm gonna make a pixel brush, and so I already talked about that. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to call this layer blocking, okay, so that I could block out my sketch really quick here. And so Babylon 5, I want it to look like it's 5 miles long. Let me change the color of my brush if it will actually change. Alright, awesome. And I want it to start out to being a rather large looking object. And you know what? Actually, I'm not done with my perspective grid. Let me go back and then go back to my pixel, well, my other thingamajig. Alright, so something that I've always wanted to do is to see if I could actually make it so that I can make an image where I'm actually looking up instead of a 4-point perspective. So let's see, if I were to line this up with the edges here and go like that, and squish this down. Let me press Control Alt in order to do this. In order to make it so that it's the full size, I'm going to change the color of this one to being green. Okay, yeah, okay, so that's good. And let's see what happens if, well, no, if, let's move this one down a ways. Okay. Okay, so there's no way to do that. Huh. Well, it's still contradicting every single one of them, which is great. I kind of want to experiment with perspective in this image. I want this vanishing point to be just outside. I don't want to look straight up inside of this image, but yeah. So now I'm just going to press Control J, and I'm just going to press Control Alt and click and drag like so, and press Control J and Control J a bunch of times. Alright, that's cool, and then I'm going to click on this one, press Control J and Control click outward, and press Control J a bunch of times. Alright, excellent. So now I'm going to select all of these vector objects all the way down until the blocking layer, and I'm going to throw it in here. And you can see that's lowered opacity quite significantly. Now we're going to go into the pixel persona, and now at this point we're going to start blocking out the sketch. Sorry about the diversions and all that. Let me pull out my brush. Okay, so I kind of want Babylon 5 to be right about here-ish. And let's see, I want the front end of Babylon 5 to look like it's fairly close to us. And I also want it to feel like Babylon 5 really is 5 miles long. So Babylon 5 is going to be really freaking far away. And so I need to follow the red lines out. Okay. Which is difficult to see. So the blue lines. Is there any way for me to find the blue lines? Okay, I'm seeing a lot of green inside of the layers panel. Okay, this is the groups for here. Okay, let's see what happens when I experiment with blending modes. Okay, color burn. Alright, well that's something, but it's not quite what I want. I want to be able to see both of them at the same time and have it be actually convenient. I think that'll do. luminosity, whatever. Doesn't really matter. Let me go back to here, blocking, follow the red lines. Ugh. Why am I having so much difficulty? Erase. Alright. Now, I have this vanishing point right here. So, if I follow these blue lines down quite a ways, like I said, I want this to feel like it's 5 miles long. Awesome. That is cool. Alright. And then we have this, which is the bottom, or it will be the bottom of Babylon 5. Alright. So that's the blocking of Babylon 5. The idea with blocking is to lay out your composition with just the most basic shape that perspective can offer, which is it's basically a box, or a rectangular box, or a cube, or what have you. It's all of that. So I'm just going to draw this as if it's a transparent box here. Alright, excellent. And I'm just going to draw an arrow here and draw B5, because that's what it's called, Babylon 5, B5. And so I want the camera in such a position to where okay, so we already know that one of these red circular regions here is 180 degrees, okay? And then, so that means that this circular section is 180 degrees. You add 180 plus 180 equals 360 degrees. That's you spinning around in a full circle, okay? So, ooh, B5. Okay, so that means that from this position to this position, this vanishing point to this vanishing point, that's 90 degrees. Why? Because it's a 90 degree angle. That's why when we work with the red and blue lines, we're creating 90 degree angles. Okay? They curve because you're turning your head. Alright, and so, let's see, 90 degrees, like, if you get 180 degrees, which we said was this full area from this vanishing point right here to this vanishing point right here, that's 180, and if you divide it by 2, that's 90 degrees, okay? So, we split it in 2, so, if this is 90, this is 90, so we're already at 180, and then this is 90 degrees, so let's see. $270. Okay, so awesome. Let me go ahead and just press Control Z a bunch of times. Okay, so the jump gate should be about right here. I want it really close to the blue vanishing point. that way it's as if we're almost turning all the way around in order to get to this jump gate, in order to see it. And I want this jump gate to feel as though it's huge. It's big enough to carry an entire cruiser. Alright? So somehow I need to establish that by using scale, by making sure that there are smaller objects in the scene. I never really got this sense of scale from Babylon 5. Every time it showed a jump gate, the vehicle flying through the jump gate seemed like it was approximately the same size in relationship with the jump gate. And that's something that kind of disappointed me. Alright. So that will be the jump gate. Okay, so I'm going to draw this out as if it's a transparent box. And let's go ahead and extend it towards the vanishing point a little bit. Oh, come on. This is a little bit easier with pencil and paper when drawing things in relationship to a vanishing point. But like everything with the layers and stuff is way easier. I guess I'm going to curve this up and then down like that. And that's the top face, so I need to use the blue vanishing point lines as a reference. And I need to use the green lines. Yeah, I'm not liking that, so I'm going to use the green lines. Whatever. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. I'll just leave it be. So the green lines are any line where I'm looking up or down, which means vertical lines follow the green lines. Alright, and so I need to send this back portion of the box towards the red vanishing point. Awesome. Follow the green lines down. Front. And huh. Okay. So something's messed up here. Okay. It's gotta be what I have established as my up and down. That's screwing everything up. My measurements. Because my lines here are not coming out the same way. I don't know what to do about that. Of course, this is all improvisational sort of stuff, experimentation with curvilinear perspective. So I would have to... I mean, something like that. That is so weird. Alright, I'm gonna have to backtrack a few steps. And you know what? I'm just going to have a bunch of vertical shapes for my vertical lines. That's just what it's going to have to be. So I'm going to go back to the perspective grid. I do apologize for the indecisiveness, but alright. I have to be able to experiment, otherwise everything winds up being stagnant in my progression, basically. So I'm going to go ahead and just pull out the pen tool, just go boink, boink, and I'm just going to grab one control point and press shift. Okay, that purple line, because I have snapping turned on, tells me that it's perfectly vertical. So I'm going to press V, change the color of it first. Cool. And I'm going to move it over. It's too small for me to be able to just grab, it seems. So I'm just going to move this on over to there. Press Ctrl J and move it a little bit. Press Ctrl J. Move it over a little. I'm surprised that it's not automatically doing it at this point. Let's see, zoom. Actually, let me press Ctrl Z a bunch of times. Okay, so if I press V, X. Okay, so let's see. Have that and that. Okay, so X, let's go plus 10. Okay. Let's press Ctrl Z. Plus 50. Not too much, so plus 20. That looks about right, so press Ctrl J. Plus 20. The heck? Plus 20. Okay, plus 40. Oops. Plus 40. Okay. 40. Control J. Ah! Now it's doing it. That's what I wanted to see. Come on. Come on, what's going on? Okay. Still not doing it. Okay. Okay, now it's doing it. Okay, cool. Alright. Awesome, so that is everything. So let me go over here. Group these together. Alright. So, what in the world? What did I just do? Oh, okay, I need to put that into the perspective grid. What the hell? Okay, finally. Alright, so now I need to start working on Babylon 5 again and block it out. So I just need I need a black color. Come on. Oh, right. Okay, I need to go into the pixel persona. Pull out my brush. Alright. And just go ahead and draw that out. Alright, go ahead and erase that. Come on. B5. Alright, and I'm actually going to move this over here. So this means reconstructing quite a bit. Which is always disappointing when you have to do that, but it's fine. It's life. Lock the brush. And cool. Alright, so that's Babylon 5. Okay, so we want there to be a jump gate. And so I want it right here. You know, I could have it right here to where it's like you're looking at it here. Well, wait a second. This would be like almost a 180 degrees if I placed it here. Like that. That sounds cool. Where your head has to turn a little bit more than 180 degrees. Okay, so this is making a lot more sense to me. So, or at least how the composition is going to come into play. So, alright, let's get this going. It needs to be big enough to hold a battle cruiser. So I have every intention of making this thing look huge. Okay, and then it goes off towards the vanishing point down here. Come on. Oops. Awesome. And follow the blue vanishing point once again. I'm just going to have to draw this as if it's a transparent object. Oh wow. This is a very vertical object. So what happens if I move it like that out there? Man, this is an even bigger jump gate than I wanted, but you know what? I'm actually happy with it. The bigger, the happier, the happier I am. Happier. Does anyone have any caviar? Okay. Say, only the most distinguished gentlemen. Alright. Let's continue following this blue vanishing point. Like that. But we have a bit of a problemo. Let's just call that good. Okay, since I'm freehanding it, not everything has to be absolutely 100% perfect. Let's say front of, oops, jump gate. That face right there. Alright. Now I do want the Excalibur looking as if it's heading towards the jump gate. And so, since the front of the jump gate is following this, like, this vanishing point's lines, like that, if I want it to have a collision course, I need to have the Excalibur going from the blue vanishing points. Excuse me. So, I'm going to start doing that. Okay, now the Excalibur has a really long neck to it, and I need to find a place for it that's really good. I really like the Excalibur. I think it's a really awesome looking ship. Alright. For those of you that haven't seen Babylon 5, it's one of the best science fiction shows you will ever watch. Start watching at Season 2, and after you're done with Season 2, that's basically so that you confirm to yourself, hey, this is a really damn good show. Go back and watch Season 1. Because Season 1 has some episodes that are so bad that it makes you wonder why you're even watching. Especially the episode where there's this guy who puts on this alien device and he starts yelling, Ikara! That episode is terrible. Like, every time I watch it, I just ask myself, why do I even like this show? And then I watch Season 2. And I'm like, that's why. And then Season 3, that is why. Season 4, ooh, damn, this is a good show. And then Season 5, you know what? A lot of people say there's a dip in quality at Season 5. I don't see it. That show is perfection. The thing about Season 5 is that it shows the final character arc of everyone. Where does everyone go after the show? And I love that. Okay, so I drew out the long neck to the Excalibur. And so I'm going to say that this is the center of Excalibur all the way out there since it's so far away. And, you know, I'm going to just go ahead and draw out a box. And I'm just going to draw out a line that goes from this vanishing point out. Like, ultimately, these lines start getting rather straight around the vanishing point, so, or around this region. So I'm not going to worry too much about that. So now I need to draw an X here, and in order to find center. And once I find center, I can just go like that. Now this point here and this point here, if I go ahead and just draw a line like this, okay, I just found the distance, the same distance as, like, the distance from here to here. That distance is the same distance from here to here. Now, if I were to, now the idea is not to actually double check by grabbing the lasso tool, copying it, and then moving it down or anything like that. That's not the goal. That, like, perspective is different in the sense that if I send it off towards the vanishing point, it doesn't matter how big it is here when it's close to us. If I send this all the way out towards the vanishing point, it's just going to start getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. Okay? So let's say this is the same distance. Like, it would consistently get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller until, like, you can't even see it anymore. So I hope I'm making sense with these descriptions. So now that I have that, I'm just going to do the same thing over here. Since I already have the center here, I can just draw out a line that goes through the center, and I'm going to extend this out using the blue vanishing points, and I'm just going to use this point, and boom. Okay, that's it, off in this distance. Alright, and awesome possum, and that's good. So now we have a square where this nose of the Excalibur ship is perfectly centered, and I like that. And I'm going to include all of my favorite Babylon 5 ships inside of this image. Alright. And I remember the wings, the depth to the wings, they're not really that long. So I'm just going to do something like that. I don't know. That seems pretty long to me. Like up top it doesn't seem like it's long, but down here at the bottom it seems really long. Alright, so drawing it as if it's transparent. Alright. Alright, yeah. That turned out well. So, Excalibur. Awesome. And now I want there to be an Earth Alliance ship. Now, the thing is if I want this to go the same direction, at this point, that's kind of hard to calculate out here. So, you know, that's... If I have this, if I use the blue lines, and it's going like this, it's heading straight to us. That's where I get confused. I don't know how the composition is coming together, just to some degree. Like, I want there to be, let's say a Narn cruiser out here. Okay? Now, a Narn cruiser is not that tall. But who knows? Maybe it's standing guard at the jump gate, making sure that nothing interferes with the activity. Like no one tries to tamper or attack Babylon 5. Like if any ship goes through the jump gate, maybe it's sitting right behind or right beside the jump gate to make sure that it does a surprise attack. I think that, I don't know, that's a cool idea. Alright, so now I get to I'm just going to draw an arrow for where it's pointing. Narn Battle Cruiser. Awesome. Okay, and then next, you know, I'm just gonna have it be something like right here. I want there to be the Agamemnon. Now, I don't know exactly. It's basically an Earth battle cruiser. Now, the Agamemnon, its front portion is rather large, like that. Okay, and then let's see here. Earth Alliance ship. Let's go. Downloads. I know I have a file for reference images. Okay, yeah. Agamemnon. Okay. Yeah, open that file. Okay, so just... Alright, so... About right here... This is where Affinity Designer tends to crap out on me. So I'm going to save this. Let's see, large thing... Bad, yep. I'm going to save over that file. No. Save as. 1 second here. Save that as a stupid file. Delete that. BA. Okay, Babylon 5 fan art. Even though it took me all week to make that, I'm going to save over it just because I'm making this with you guys. And now I'm not going to finish this image inside of this video. Just keep that in mind. Okay, yeah, it's still glitching out, so I'm going to close out of Affinity Designer and open it up again. Sometimes when I open up different files or different programs or interact with my screen recording software, OBS, Affinity Designer tends to crap out, and I don't know what the deal is with that. But normally, if I just close and open up Affinity Designer, which really doesn't take too much time, that usually resolves the issue. So about right there, I would say that's where the nose of the ship is. Let's see here. Where are we? No, stupid Batwoman. The Batwoman trailer, both of them, are abysmal. Oh right, okay, so... I'm just going to... Now, I need to draw this as if it's transparent. That's somewhat throwing me off here. So, I'm just going to... And notice that the Excalibur is going to be behind... no, the Excalibur is going to be in front of the Agamemnon. Notice that. That's important. Actually, I think the Agamemnon... It's... Okay, so 1 second here. It is important to have overlap inside of your images. No, this needs to be more... I'm just going to press Ctrl Z a bunch of times. If it doesn't look right, it doesn't look right, and it needs to be fixed. Okay, so I need to actually go do something more like this. Okay. Trying to make sure that my proportions look right, according to my memory, at least, since I don't want to work with reference images at this point, like true references. Okay, so that's good. And then the nose, it goes something like right here. Having objects overlap gives you a sense of depth. Depth as in like height, width, depth. Okay? Like a piece of paper has height. Like this arrow is literally going through height, width, and no depth. Anytime that you have depth where an object is going to you or away from you, it's all fake. It's all simulated. Okay? There is no depth. And so this arrow has simulated depth. It's a flat object, flat image. But yeah. Alright, so yeah, I'm trying to... Oh yeah, right, I need to make this transparent. Why do I keep stumbling over that issue? It's so weird. Alright, and... Okay, and I'm just gonna draw this out like that for now. Okay, it doesn't actually look like that in all reality. But I will sort this out when I'm ready to flesh out the Agamemnon. And then, you know, the rotating quarters to the ship, I want to kind of draw out a bit. Maybe this might get adjusted at some point in time. But, okay, so that is the basic shape of the Agamemnon. Alright, and I kind of want there to be a white star about right here. I think that would be an epic placement for a white star. For those of you that don't know what a white star is, it's awesome. It is the coolest science fiction ship ever. Of course, I'm making this white star too big right now. Alright. That's about as tall as it is. I'm envisioning this white star being very close to us, because the white star, if it was right next to the Excalibur, it would only be about that long. So this white star is very, very close to us, and so awesome. And I want there to be Star Furies in this. I'm going to draw more than one because, yeah. I'm just going to draw out a little tiny... Like, I'm going to imply that there are Star Furies here and there. I'm not going to be really drawing them super detailed, but I want to draw a bunch of them off in the distance. What assault is complete without Babylon 5's version of the X-Wing? Now, in Season 1 and 2, the Star Furies look kind of stupid, in my opinion. But as the series continues, they get these new revamped versions of them that are just stinking cool. Okay. What did I do? What did I do? Whatever. Let me erase this. Alright, so... But the Star Fury resembles the X-Wing. Alright. Alright, that's good. Let's get another one over here. And I want one in the foreground. So I'm going to have one really close to us. Because to me, the Star Fury is every bit as iconic of a ship as Babylon 5 itself, and the White Star and all of that. It's the ship that Earth fighters use. So why wouldn't it be an iconic vessel? Alright. Cool. Star Fury. And you know what? I think it's called Epsilon 3. Let's go ahead and draw out Epsilon 3. You know, this doesn't have to be a 360 image. That Narn battlecruiser doesn't need to be there. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab this, press V, zoom way out. I'm going to press Control Alt Shift, and I'm going to enlarge this image. And you know what? I'm going to leave it alone for now and then address it later. Okay? Because there's reasons for that. V. Alright, so but as a result, I don't need, because I will be making that decision later. Like, I like having the entirety of this jump gate in the frame. It'll help me be able to make little measurements and such like that later on down the road. And, yeah, okay, so I'm thinking about composition here. And this is the composition. Like, from right here on, all the way through here. This is the composition, this area. And so just having it all, having anything out here just seems like a waste of space. Let's see, how long have I been recording? For an hour. Alright, well, next video, I'll actually get towards getting into the details of drawing out Babylon 5. Alright? I know that I promised I'd get into drawing Babylon 5, but that would be an entire other hour of work. So I'm just going to finish off this video by drawing out a Narn battle cruiser, or at least blocking out a Narn battle cruiser out here. Yeah, I think you would have to turn your head to some degree in order to see the entirety of a Narn battlecruiser. Let's give the Narns their fair shake for once. Alright? Alright, let's... Like, for those of you that have seen the show or have not, actually, most especially those that have not seen the show, the Narns are known as, they're basically the Jews. They are the group of people that are banished from so many different societies. They're picked on and stuff like that. But they're very good people. At least that's my perception of them. You can be free to disagree, but I think every culture generally has some redeeming qualities to it. So you can't judge an entire group of people under any circumstances. Okay, so I'm going to call this Narn Battle Cruiser. Okay, and now I have one last thing that I want to do. I want to find out where the lighting is. And I actually think that the lighting would be most epic if it was coming right here. So I'm just going to go ahead and draw out something here. And I'm just going to kind of draw something similar to what a little kid would draw if they were drawing the sun. And I want to then kind of start drawing out. I want to take a second stab at drawing out a lens flare. Okay? Like a really cool looking lens flare. Okay, I think that looks good. Alright, so next video, we'll actually get out, like right now in this video, we've been blocking out the scene. We have the composition. We see that it's good, just like Jesus on all 7 days of creation. And so, it is good. And next week, you're going to see me draw out Babylon 5 in all of its fine glory, and then we're going to move on to the Excalibur, the Agamemnon, and so on and so forth until this image is finished, fleshed out, and it's going to look beautiful. Okay, so I hope you guys will stick around for me. I'm sorry this video wasn't edited. Next video will be edited, but I hope I'll be able to come out with a video next week. But I have family coming down for the 4th of July, okay? And so I might have to call next week's video off. I don't know. I'll let you guys know inside of the community tab throughout the week. Alright, you guys take care. Peace. You guys are awesome. Anyways, guys, that pretty much concludes it for this video. If you guys enjoyed it, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. And if you guys would like to get more notifications from me, feel free to click on the bell or go ahead and follow me on Twitter. If you guys would like to see more content from me, feel free to click on anything that's appearing on the screen right now. Thank you very much for your time.